A fun and exciting excursion in Ketchikan, Alaska is the Rainforest Walk. We had no idea about the surprises that were in store for us on our Rainforest Walk. It exceeded the expectations of everyone on our tour. Stay tuned to learn why this Rainforest Walk played out like a scene from the National Geographic, and some tips to help you have the best experience. Please give this video a thumbs up if you find it helpful, and thank you for doing that. Let's get started. For the Norwegian Cruise Line, the Rainforest Walk Tour is called the Rainforest Wildlife Sanctuary, Eagle Center, and Totems Tour. The excursion may be called something a little different if you take another cruise line. This tour included a 1-mile rainforest walk in the Tungus National Forest, a short stop to see raptor birds at a small center, and then seeing a totem builder work his craft, as well as seeing a set of totem poles. Let's take a look at each portion of the excursion and cover some helpful tips. First, when you arrive at Ketchikan, there is a gorgeous view right in front of your cruise ship that makes for a fantastic photo opportunity. For me, this was one of the prettiest spots on my Alaskan cruise. You'll walk a short way from your cruise ship to the mill at Ward Cove, which is the largest retail store in Southeast Alaska, and meet up for your excursion inside this building. You'll then buzz to the Rainforest Walk and split into smaller groups of about 15 to 20 people for the walk. Our tour guide did an amazing job of explaining all about the Tungus National Forest. We saw blueberries and red berries, and even came upon new trees growing out of tree stumps. Walking in the rainforest was in itself a magical experience, but there was so much more nature for us in store. I saw a bear den in a tree and started thinking about how this environment is an ideal home for bears. Not long after, our tour guide said there was a bear spotted on our path. We did encounter a bear about 5 feet from the trail from where we were walking. The tour guides ushered our group out of the forest and onto this wooden viewing platform that was not far away at the time, closing the gate behind it. The viewing platform is at least 20 feet above a grassy estuary area, with a river to one side and grass to the other side. The tour guide explained that this is an area where the fresh water of the ocean meets the salt water of the sea, and the area floods twice a day with the ocean tides. From here, things started unfolding like a video production from National Geographic. Our bear returned near the viewing platform, walking in the tall grass. This was a mama bear, and the other group on the platform who had been walking just ahead of us told us they had seen her 2 baby bears high up in the trees. We watched as the mama bear strode out to the river and started to catch salmon. The bald eagles flew above the bear as this was happening, and they alighted near the river to catch any salmon remnants from the bear's feeding. I nearly teared up as I watched the bear catch salmon and the bald eagles fly over her head. It was quintessential Alaska. We watched as nature did what nature does, consequently putting on a show for all of us to observe. The bear would take her salmon and walk back to the tall grass to eat it. This happened at least 3 times, and we had a chance to watch and take photos and videos of all of it. Then something else that was unexpected unfolded. Across the river was an open area with a few buildings and cars. A very small pet dog came from this area and started challenging the bear, charging the bear and barking at it. The people in our group were concerned for the dog, and we heard an owner at one point try to call the dog back. The bear responded to the dog by charging it just a little. The bear clearly wasn't interested in fighting the dog, but just wanted to scare it off so it could go on with its feeding. The bear sauntered off again to the grassy area to eat. However, the small dog decided to charge across the shallow river towards the bear, running after it. You can see the bear snap its head here in this video to look at the dog charging after it. Just past the platform in the tall grass, in a moment I didn't capture on film, the bear stood up all the way on its hind legs to scare the dog off, which worked, and the dog gave up. It was so cool to see the bear stand up on its hind legs in its natural environment, uncaged and free in Alaska. We proceeded to observe the bear walk around the estuary and across the mud until it eventually sauntered off beyond the opposite end of the viewing platform and into the woods. With our bear adventure over, our group walked to a small building to view the raptors. This area is called the Alaska Raptor Center. However, this center is just an exhibit of the main center. The main center is located in Sitka, Alaska, which is on an island about 184 miles away from Ketchikan. The center is a small building, which we didn't enter, that has a little caged area in front of it, where the birds were displayed by a tour guide. There were 3 raptors that they showed us. All raptors are meat-eating birds. The tour guide explained that every bird at the center has had an injury or trauma of some sort, and they are cared for by the Alaska Raptor Center because they cannot take care of themselves. For example, this bird was unable to take care of itself because a young boy captured it and took it home during its early developmental stage, so it was not able to learn how to hunt by copying the behavior of other birds. The bird now cannot hunt, though it's physically capable of hunting because it didn't learn the behavior early on. There was also a bald eagle and an owl on display. After a fairly brief talk about the raptors, we went on to another portion of the excursion, which was to see the totem pole carving. We saw a carver working on a totem pole. There's a gift shop on site, and we also saw a few totem poles outside. Here are a few tips for this excursion to keep in mind for the best experience. First, it rains often in Ketchikan, more than 200 days each year. Unexpectedly, it did not rain at all during our tour, and it was very sunny, which I think improves our overall experience. However, I think the tour would still be fun with a light rain, as long as you're dressed properly. Check out this Alaska packing video to learn what rain gear to take on your cruise. Secondly, the wildlife really makes this excursion extra special, so if you can, book this excursion during the wildlife season, which is in summer from late June through mid-August. Even if you don't have an opportunity to see bears and bald eagles during your walk, you will still be able to enjoy the forest and see the raptors at the end, which would still make for a good excursion. Also, once you return to the mill at Ward Cove, remember that this is the largest shopping area in Southeast Alaska. It has a warehouse-sized amount of souvenirs such as Alaska jackets, sweaters, and more. The mill at Ward Cove was the only place I had time to shop during my Alaska cruise. I think it's the most convenient shopping during an Alaskan cruise because it's the same area as your meeting place in Ketchikan, and because your cruise ship is docked within walking distance, you can easily gauge how much time you have to shop after your excursion before you need to be back on the ship. I wanted to buy a sweatshirt hoodie as a souvenir during my Alaskan cruise, and I found this one that I like at the mill at Ward Cove. The Rainforest Walk excursion was the best excursion of my entire Alaskan cruise. I highly recommend booking the Rainforest Walk excursion in Ketchikan for your Alaskan cruise. If you like this video, please subscribe. Happy Alaskan travels!